Big poppin', money in the bank, coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me big poppin'. Money in the bank, coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me what the topic.
Yeah, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the bar. Yes, I know it's spiked coffee. It's not exactly the morning. We're running late. I couldn't decide which content I actually wanted to do this morning. So I decided I'm going to go live with this one and I'm going to record the other one. Okay, so sorry for those of y'all who are on the East Coast. Y'all are having spiked coffee in the noon. If you're on the West Coast, it's still morning. Central, it's still morning, etc., etc. If you're over across the pond, shout out to the International Henny Gang. Okay, shout out to y'all. It's the evening over there. Let me see. It's 6 p.m. in the UK right now. Okay, so shout out to everybody that is going to catch this on the replay. So today we are revisiting some information that I kind of feel like should be coming out. Okay. And we're going to get into Wack 100 lying. Now, we know him lying is no surprise by now. He's been busted and called out in a lot of lies. And it's been a pleasure exposing him. And today is no different. So what we are going to do is we are going to revisit when Diamond came on the platform and, Henny Legal, shout out to them. Shout out to me. We sat down and we did a little bit of digging. And what happened was we ended up getting Wack 100's prison movements. Now, I know there are a lot of new people. Shout out to all of the new people that subbed. I mean, yesterday we got a mortgage board of followers, of subscribers that came over. So welcome to the bar. So because there are new people and because at that point in time, I feel like the information didn't really, like, people didn't hear it because he continued to go on and lie about his prison stay. I felt it necessary to bring it back to the forefront. And of course, we're going to start off with a little DJ Vlad. Now, I am going to put the video on the screen. However, I am going to put a big Henny logo, this face that you see. I'm going to put my logo over it and speed it up just a little bit. But we're going to listen to when Wack was on Vlad and he was telling us about our prison stint. And then we're going to listen to Diamond break down with me because we were live. We're going to listen to him break down Wack's prison movements. And yes, getting his prison movements is a part of the Freedom of Information Act. So nothing was violated or was received illegally or any of that, but we do have it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Let me see how this looks if I put this here and do this because where is it? Let me find it. Aha. All right. So this is the interview that we are going to be going over and discussing in this live. Let me put a little bit of my music on because I hate when the live is quiet. Nope, we don't want that. We're going to go with that. All right. Let me get my watermark up here the way that we get our watermark up here. So that way, boom. All right. So you're going to be able, matter of fact, you're going to be able to hear the content and you're going to be able to understand what's going on. But like I said, for the purposes of copyrights and all of that stuff, we are using this under the under the Fair Use Act. So y'all ready? Let's get to it.
Okay. So you caught a couple of juvenile cases along the way.
Attempted murders, like all my whole record was violence. Called attempted murder. I went to youth authority for attempted murder, beat the attempted murder, juvenile hall, possession of firearms, stuff like that. And then I paroled. By the time I paroled from Fred C. Nellis, which we call Gladiator School, which in some cases was worse than certain penitentiaries, I paroled. I maybe was on maybe like 90 days, and I caught up a shooting. Firing into a vehicle, 2 counts of 245, firing and discharging.
Now, I want you guys to pay attention to the prisons that he is saying that he was already in. Okay, so let's go back just a little bit.
Juvenile hall, possession of firearms, stuff like that. And then I paroled. By the time I paroled from Fred C. Nellis.
Fred C. Nellis. That is one that he has already said. Where my pens at? Because we're going to write this down. Okay, he's already said Fred C. Nellis.
Which we call gladiator school, which in some cases was worse than certain penitentiaries. I paroled, I maybe was on maybe like 90 days. And I caught a shooting, firing into a vehicle, 2 counts of 245, firing and discharging firearms in city limits, chased him down. They ran in the house and then fired into a dwelling. I filled the house up. And I was on the run from there and they caught me and they charged me as an adult.
Aha. So that was the 16-year-old charge right there. So you had what, attempted murder?
I had 2 counts of 245, discharging firearm in city limits, firing into a vehicle and firing into a dwelling, which was a home.
Okay. Now you were charged as an adult. Were you like the first minor in the California, state prison system?
Because usually what they would do, they would send you to YTS, to the Youth Authority, until you aged up to 18, and then they would send you. The prison bus came to Central Juvenile Hall, pulled into Central Juvenile Hall when they left LA County Jail and picked me up from Central Juvenile Hall and took me straight to Delano State Penitentiary.
Is that legal?
Yeah, because I signed off. The judge know what.
So now we have Delano. Delano is the next one that we have on the list. So far we have Fred C. Nellis and Delano. Let's continue because this is going to come in when we start getting into breaking down his actual prison movements.
To do with me, they was like, they sent me back to Norwalk to do a 90-day evaluation. I last like 3 days, so I'm doing, some crazy shit in there, and they sent me back. And the Sacramento sent a note back to the judge and said, due to his level of manipulation and sophistication, we deny him entry to all juvenile facilities in state.
So he mentions Norwalk. Now, I don't know these prison systems. I'm not from LA. I'm not from California. I'm from New York. But he mentions Norwalk. He mentions Sacramento. We're writing them down.
State of California.
Oh, so they had no choice but to send you to adult prison.
Yeah, so, no. They could have locked me up in the hole in juvenile hall, which I think it was something going on with the laws there. It was kind of like inhumane to hold me in a hole for 2 years without me doing something to be there.
So what he's basically saying is after he did his evaluation that they said, you know what? Due to the level of manipulation and sophistication, we're denying him entry into juvenile facilities. Due to the level of manipulation and sophistication, that is what he is saying is the reason why he went into adult Click City.
I was looking at 17 years or something like that. So the judge told me if I give you a time reduction, will you sign over your rights, right, and allow me to send you to state penitentiary? So she went from 17 to 7. Oh, man, hurry up.
Now, he said he went from a 17-year sentence to a 7-year sentence. Remember that as well.
I want to go up there with the homies anyway.
Okay, so they gave you a 10-year reduction by going to adult prison.
Signed over all my rights.
Okay, so what was it like for a 16-year-old to walk into state prison with a whole bunch of 30, 40, 50-year-olds, lifers? When I got on the prison bus, everybody was pretty much quiet. I was used to that bus because for us to go to court, they would have to come pick us up and put us in a cage. And when we got to Delano, I got in the cell, and out of like 22 of us, it was maybe like 9 to 10 blacks. Everybody was Crips, was me. Where you from? I'm a YA baby. I got an 18-inch bicep. I figure it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I jumped up and I banged my neighborhood. And there was this dude named Big Fish from Rolling 60 Creek. Because they said, we got us one. So 3-4 dudes hopped up. And Big Fish from Rolling 60s got up and said, nah, that ain't happening. He claimed his neighborhood. He did what most of y'all wouldn't do. The situation was in reverse. And he said, one of y'all can get out with him head up. Youngster looked like he got a squabble. Just know this, whoever lose a head up, I'm gonna make sure the yard know that you got your ass whooped by a minor. So everybody kind of like,
here goes the prison stories, but I need y'all to pay attention to everything that he's saying, because here's where we get the blend of, can I curse? Well, I can still say shit on here. You get your little bit of truth, and he blending it right now with the shit, the bullshit, and he's serving shit water. Okay?
I chilled out, like, a dude old enough to be my little brother, my son, and they kind of chilled out. And I went to reception, and they put me in cell with a G homie named Baby Wayne from Village Town Parole. And I think at that point is when my penitentiary training started. Because he had been to prison 2-3 times. The good thing about Baby Wayne was a knockout artist. And when you're a young Parole in the cell with a G homie, you're gonna fight at least 3-4 times a week just because. So, he kind of got me stronger with my push-up game, my physical game, and he made me squabbling him every day, almost. So by the time I left there, I hit Soledad. And Soledad was really, that was the birth. That was the birth of CK Wack when I hit that yard.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to spoil it for those of y'all who don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because I have the proof to back up what I'm about to say. He's never been to Soledad. That's okay. Diamond is going to explain everything to y'all in a minute.
CK stands for?
Crip killing. Okay. See, I was Lil Wack. From there, I went to CK Wack. Okay. Right? And then from there, Wack 100 is an entertainer's name. It's not.
I just want to interject for a second. Since he brought it up, I'm going to say it. He's claiming that he got the name CK Wack, right? You don't find this suspicious that he did this interview with Vlad? Let's see when he did this interview with Vlad. Yes, I had the transcript open because I'm writing down the prisons. November of 2023 is when this came. And January 4th of 2024 is the date on this video right here in particular. January 4th, but it says Wack 100 November 2023. So it's possible that Vlad spun the block on this one, because Vlad is good for spinning the block, or he did a full interview with him, and that's the date of when he dropped this clip to everybody. So I am gonna say this. It's awful funny how he's saying that was his nickname, and yet you have him affiliated with things that have gone on that have caused crib sets to go down, legally go down. Child.
Not a street guy. He's an entertainer.
Okay, so you go to prison in 94. Outside of your situation, I'm just kind of setting, the backstory. In 1997, while you're still locked up, Suge Knight gets sentenced to 9 years in prison for kicking Orlando Anderson during the whole MGM fight for a probation violation.
Joint suspension, 9 years. Yeah.
Exactly. You get out in 99. Suge Knight's still locked up.
Still locked up.
You're 19 years old when you get out?
Yeah, I'm like 19.
Okay. What do you do with yourself at that point? Here you are, you're in prison for how many years now? 3?
I did like
3-4 years?
No, I did 6 years.
6 years, sorry.
He says he did 6 years, right? Says he got out in 99. I'm pointing out key things to y'all, and trust me, I'm writing it down as well, because we're going to spin the block on that. But he says he got out in 99. He did 6 years. Remember that.
Okay.
5 years, 11 months.
Yeah, close to 6 years. You're coming out 6 years. No high school diploma, right?
I got my GED.
Okay.
I got my GED in Central Juvenile.
Got it. But you have felonies on your record, which is a forever punishment. That means that you're going to have problems getting a job, you're going to have problems trying to get an apartment, etc. So what do you do with yourself at that point?
And I got a son that's 5 years old at the time.
Son or daughter?
My son.
You didn't get to see your son. Suge Knight's still locked up.
Let's hear it again.
You're 19 years old when you get out?
Yeah, I'm like 19.
Okay. What do you do with yourself at that point? Here you are, you're in prison for how many years now? 3?
I did like
3-4 years?
No, I did 6 years.
6 years, sorry. Okay.
5 years, 11 months.
Close to 6 years. You're coming out 6 years. No high school diploma, right?
I got my GED.
Okay.
I got my GED in Central Juvenile.
Got it. But you have felonies on your record, which is a...
Let's just add that to the list. felonies on his record. Let's add that to the list.
Forever punishment. That means that you're gonna have problems getting a job, you're gonna have problems trying to get an apartment, etc. So what do you do with yourself at that point?
And I got a son that's 5 years old at the time.
So you get your wife pregnant, your future wife.
She was pregnant before I went. She was like 3-4 months pregnant.
Okay, so that was rough. So you didn't get to see is it son or daughter?
My son.
I want to stop and pay attention to this. Not only that, salute to Smoked Out TV. Make sure y'all following. He said Buster don't even have no gang file. Let that sink in for a second.
You didn't get to see your son take his first step, one of his first words, all that. Something I'm sure you still regret to this day.
Yeah, that's the one thing I used to tell myself every day in prison, you a bitch ass nigga, you're not there for your kid. Because listen, I blame my father.
We can't touch that right now, Smoked Out. We can't touch that right now, Smoked Out. We're going to give it all away. We can't touch that. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. We can't touch it yet. We got to let him keep lying.
Father for not being there for me, right?
Yeah.
And crack was what it was. But now the gang culture, the gang violence, the streets, right, have me in prison. I'm not there for my son. So I was my father. And that's what scared me.
So now we can come up off of this. And we could actually take this one down. Because it's time to cook. Okay, it's time to cook. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be entertained. As I'm gonna drop from the screen. Listen, I'm dropping from the screen, and I'm gonna let this video. I'm gonna let this video rock out. What I am gonna say is shout out and salute to Diamond for breaking all of this down. Because, like I said, I'm not from Cali. You want to talk to me about New York State prisons? I could talk to you about those all day long. You want to talk to me about Florida State prisons? I kind of have an idea of those. But when it gets to this Cali stuff, sometimes you got to have somebody from Cali to explain what's going on in Cali. And so Diamond came and he explained and broke this thing down. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, as you will see, this is from public records, okay? Public records. Let me put it back up here. Matter of fact, let me do this. Right here, it tells you regarding Public Records Act request. So his prison movements is something that we were able to send away for and get. And what a prison's movement record, what this thing is that you're getting ready to see, it's called Central Archive Files. And you can get those. And what it does is it tells you when the person entered into prison, when they were transferred, when they were paroled, when they came back in. So none of this is anything that was obtained illegally because it's all public record. But enough of me. Let me get down here real small. Let me get down here real small. Let me make this screen big as I can. Matter of fact, I'm just going to disappear off the screen because sometimes it's confusing when I'm up here. But y'all still going to be able to hear me. And I'm going to give the stage to this oldie but goodie because this video came out. I did this video with Diamond October 25th of 2024. And we probably should have led with this, but I kind of wanted to get into the lie first. Nowhere on here does it say that he was in that facility. How do I know that he wasn't in that facility? Well, let's take it. And by that facility, I was talking about Soledad. Abbreviation by abbreviation. And let's start here. NKSP is North Kirk.
Wait, before you go there, before you start there, Henny, go to the date that he entered prison.
Which is right here, January 31st, 1995.
Making him 17 years old and 9 months.
Not 16.
Not 16. 3 months before his 18th birthday.
So now, Wack going to jail when he was going to prison when he was 16, and that's a lie. Let's continue. But
Okay.
wait, hold on, Diamond, because he said that he started going to prison at 12.
No, he said he went to YA at 12. He said he went to prison at 16 years old.
Okay, so I thought he said that it started when he was 12.
He said he was the juvenile on the main line of the prison. He said he walked the line. He walked the line. Now, if you go to the next column, it says NKSP. That is the reception center. North Kern State Prison. Okay?
Which everybody should know, because that's where Blue was before he got to where he is now. For those who are in the Krishan sector, North Kern is where he was at. And he even said it himself on Clubhouse that was a reception center.
Okay. Now, next to that, the next column says admitted offender with new AOJ. AOJ is adult offender juvenile, which means you will not walk the line. You will stay in the hole for 90 days until you turn 18, and then and only then will you walk the line. So you did not walk the line at 16. You walked the line at 18 after your AOJ was lifted. Okay? Adult offender juvenile. Okay? He did not walk the line at 16. He did not even go to prison when he was 16. As you can see, admitted offender, new AOJ. Okay? That means he entered prison at 17 years, 9 months. Okay? And he was an AOJ, which is an adult offender juvenile, which means you were kept in administrative segregation until you turned 18, which was approximately 90 days, because your birthday was April. Okay? And you went there at the last day of January.
His birthday just passed not too long ago. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but his birthday just passed. So January, February, March, April, 90 days, okay, is correct and accurate. But it says it right there. Admitted offender with new AOJ, right? Now, I'm gonna let Diamond cook. I'm not gonna interrupt no more.
So, lie number one. Exposed. Next, he went and did his time on April the 1st, 1998. He was paroled from not Soledad, but substance abuse treatment facility. Okay? Which means he did not do 6 years. He was paroled from substance abuse treatment facility level 2. How did he do 6 years? My math is pretty good. And from 95 to 98, that's 3 years and about 3 months. Okay? Exactly. In fact, if you want to be technical, March, April. 3 years, 2 months. Okay? 3 years, 2 months. Let's get it correct. Substance abuse treatment facility is SADF Corcoran. He was there on the level 2. Okay? Now, in a 3-year period, there is no way he went anywhere else, because it would be in the archives if he was at another prison. Okay? He was not at another prison. Okay? So he was paroled on April 1st, 1998. 3 years. That's all he did. 3 years, 2 months. He was out for approximately 2 months exactly. And he got a violation. Re-entry 3 means he went to the county jail. He never even went to the prison. He never went back to prison. He was back at re-entry 3, which is the county jail. Okay? He was there from 6/2/1998 to 7/25/1998. As you see, he was still at re-entry 3 on 7/25/98 and returned to parole.
Now I'm going to take a pause for a second because the question of the 5-year-old son came up. Now the 5-year-old son comes into play because he only did the 3 years. You understand? If the son is born in 94, if the son was born in 94, that would mean that in 99, he was 5. That would also mean that he did not come home in 99 the way that he said. He did not do 6 years as we have already discovered. Okay? He's not done 6 years. He went home in 98, paroled, went back in 98. 2 months later, he's back in, returned from parole. Then he turns around the following month and returns from parole again. Man, let's let Diamond continue to cook, y'all.
Okay? They let him back out. That's on 7/25/1998. Then 3 days after Christmas, 12/28/98, he went back to the county jail, re-entry, returned from parole. This time, he did end up going to the prison, which was another level 2 prison, Chuckawalla Valley State Prison. And he paroled from Chuckawalla Valley State Prison on 9/21/99.
Now, pause right there because, you and I were having an interesting conversation about Chuckawalla. And what I want people to understand, why I keep showing y'all that other screen while Diamond is breaking this down and cooking right now, is because that's how you know where these little codes are. But if you guys want to do your own due diligence and look, y'all go ahead and look. Don't just take our word for it. But it says right here that CVSP is comprised of 4 level 2 non-designated program facility yards and 1 level 1 non-designated program facility yard, which means that he has never been on a level 4. Correct, Diamond?
Correct. He has never touched a level 4 yard. His whole prison history that he's been telling you guys is a farce. He's going back and he's trying to rewrite history and put himself and install himself into places and situations that make him seem like some magnificent thug. However, remember all those charges that he was reading off, attempted murders, and
you right there in my head because I was about to
shooting that.
Yep.
Well, at the bottom here, that's a case number. That's the case number that he was committed to state prison with, and it's one charge, PC 245A2. Okay. And you could go and look it up. It's easy. You could Google it. You know what I'm saying? That's a penal code 245A2. Okay. Assault with a firearm. He got 4 years as the base term, and he got 3 years for his prior bullshit. As you see on the side, it says 4 years, and then next to that, it has 3 years. That means he was given a total of 7 years. They ran it bow leg. That's how he ended up doing the 3 years.
Ta-da. So now let's go back and let's listen to the charges one more again. Now that y'all have seen the charges, let's listen to the charges.
He only got one charge.
He only got one. But listen to what he say though.
2 counts of assault with deadly weapon because of the chick in the car. Fired into an inhibited vehicle. Discharge a firearm in city limits, right? and some other shit. So as soon as I step in there.
Now, let me just say this. Now, I personally have never gone into Click Click City, but I told y'all I've been privy to be around Click Click City behaviors my whole life. You gonna remember all your charges. You're not gonna say it's this charge, and some other ish. You're not gonna say that. You're gonna remember every single charge that you were locked up for, because that's a part of your history of why you was inside. Am I correct, Diamond? I mean, because I'm just a mere female.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are absolutely correct.
And Diamond, let me ask you about this riot. Because if it was a race riot in the prison, word of that riot would have spread throughout not just the prison system, but spilled out into the outside world too, right?
Man, of course you would have heard about this magnificent riot. And if he was this big active guy that was passing out knives amongst the homies and all of this and all, man, word would have spread about those things.
He says that he was a minor. He was the little dude in there doing this.
Yeah,
that's definitely been a talking point, and he would have had more credibility and a history that people could speak on. Am I correct?
Exactly.
I'm just asking these questions.
All these things I figured it out about him are figments of his imagination. He has laid back and fantasized about being, I think what it is, he may have been, he heard so many stories about Big U that he said, I gotta make me some stories now. So he made him some stories up. And he done told these stories so many times, he got it down to a science.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells all these 16-year-old stories, how he was 16 in the prisons and all of this. But the facts are the facts. And anyone could go to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation and file for the information. And you could put it up there. So if they so choose, to want to challenge this, they could go and get it for themselves. But the man went to prison at 17 years, 9 months as an adult offender juvenile. He was kept in administrative segregation for 90 days until he turned 18. Then he was released to the yard. He never was in no Solidad, no riot, or none of this BS that he's been feeding everybody and lying to everybody about. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't passing out knives and doing all of this. He was on a level 2, being nice and trying to get home. He might have did a little working out or things of that nature, but he wasn't making no noise. All that talk about I was on 9 prison yards. No, you were not. You were not on 9 prison yards. If you want to do the math, scroll up and you can count them. North Kern, SADF, Chuckwalla Valley State Prison. You were on 3 prison yards, brother.
And they were all level 2.
All level 2. You have never been on a high level prison. You are a liar. You are a funky rat. And the truth ain't in you. You have now been exposed. Exposer.
Shout out and salute to Diamond. He said you are a liar and a funky rat. Not just a rat, but a funky rat. Yeah, so again, this was an oldie but goodie that needed to come back up because, sometimes you got to spin the block on some of this, content that's already been put out there to remind people of what's been exposed already. Now, we did this in October of 2024, and that video that he did, it's dated November 23rd, but it says January 4th of 2024. So he has told this story multiple times from that Vlad interview, go back through Clubhouse. I mean, I'm quite sure if y'all do a search on YouTube, you may find videos of where he has given multiple different prison stories. I don't know if what he's doing. I don't know if he's watching made for TV movies, reading books, going and getting those old VHS tapes. If he's still got a VCR in his house and he's popping a VCR tape in on a movie that people don't know about, that's a prison movie, and he saw a real fire scene, and so he decided to put himself in that scene or not. But at the end of the day, the lies, the morass of false statements just keep on spewing and spilling from out of his PP liquors. And yes, PP liquors. Y'all, if you're new here and don't know what PP liquors are, that comes from when he said he licked R&B clean after she peed outside until he tasted no more pee. So he's a PP liquor, okay? He's a PP liquor. Nasty work. All the way around, he's just nasty work. Okay, so that mic he be hollering on, it smells like slob and pee. Sorry for those of y'all who are eating lunch right now or dinner. I hope you didn't throw your fork down and push your plate away like, Henny, what the? Why would you say that? Because it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Okay, so at the end of the day, there is no level 4. He did not walk all of 9 yards. He walked 3 that were level 2s. Okay, he did not do 6 years. He did 3. Got paroled, went back again, got paroled, went back again. And that's it. What? There ain't no more to it. And I know we were late today, and I apologize for that. But I think that this suffices for that. I think I've made up for it with this re-exposing of the lies of his prison record. It's like, damn, dude, nothing that you say or do is real. Your businesses aren't real. Your prison record ain't real. This street cred you claim to have is not real. You're not a good businessman. I exposed that yesterday with the lawsuits that he got. You in the hole, my man. You are in the hole, and everywhere in life you are in the hole. And I don't know, but I heard word on the curb. Now they said, I didn't say it, I'm just going to repeat it. I heard he can't go to the Congo. Is that true? Y'all let me know down in the comments. Is that true? Is he now not allowed to go to the Congo for whatever reason? I called him the S word. But it's the truth. It's the truth. And anyway, whether it be true or not, if he said it, it's more than likely a lie. Okay? But this has been exposing Wack 100's prison record. I'm not going to keep y'all here too long. I was just here for a good time, not a long time. If you're just coming in, hit that replay button and go all the way back to the beginning and hear him be exposed. For all of those that were here, salute to all of y'all. Salute to the replay gang. I appreciate all of y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I promise we will be on time, okay? Love is always love, y'all, and high vibes to y'all day. And we out of here.